everything players want added to Danny's World once it leaves the alpha. And I'm not just talking about the new machine type, the Toon and Twisted optimizations, the new arcade machines. No. We want to get deeper. The most important thing I want to keynote here is when Quell said this.
With a big update with tons of new gameplay and lore that is already being worked on.
She said how there's new gameplay, new lore, and more optimizations that are already being worked on, which opens the door to so much more. The first thing that I really wanted to dive into here, machine and Dandy's World, as in all the main ones, right? I feel like this is unfathomably important to address because hopefully the machines are done in a way that speeds up progression, right? I feel like that's one thing that players really want right now in Dandy's. For example, many people posing their issues, or rather their concerns, saying, I have a question. Why doesn't the developers focus on gameplay? With this person saying, the more time I spend on the game and community, the more I've started to feel worried about the development habits the game has, which is a very popular post. With their biggest caveat being that I think putting more focus on expanding and improving the gameplay loop would help a lot, both for current players and bringing in new ones. And with this, I think there's an important thing that I want to note as well. This problem was posed an exceedingly long time ago. And honestly, I almost wish Quell would ask this question again, as it was asked 10 months ago. 10. And it was to speed up the gameplay loop, where one of the ideas was to make the starting amount of machines 2 instead of 4. What are your guys' thoughts on that idea? Where the majority of people said yes, but a lot of people said no. I would really like to see this to be a official poll. Ultimately, what this would do is saying if the starting amount of machines was 2 instead of 4, it help players get to further stages and progress earlier into game a bit quicker, which in turn allows for players to see more of the new gameplay, more of the new lore, and experience more of the game and get to further floors quicker, as if just by doing that move. However, with these double machines that Quell is talking about adding, this could also be that change instead. Because let's say we keep it 4 machines and then the same general machine progression. But imagine if every single one of these machines got replaced with the double machine. Now this is important because are these machines going to take twice as long to complete? Or is it going to take the same amount of time to complete, but you just double the valves? Because if you kept this machine speed the same, but 2 people could simultaneously work on it at the same time for every machine that's not the circle or the treadmill, unless those are all going to become doubles too, then the game would progress a lot faster. Inherently, players would be able to see the more gameplay sooner, faster, and more swagger. Boom. Moving on from that to a quality of life update that I've talked about before is new versions of in-game communication. Essentially, having more information on your teammates. Check this out. Striking rhubarb. I just want to say, dude, fire idea. I feel like Danny's World should let you have more information about your teammate's status in game. And the screenshot they share is, oh my god, I love game optimizations like this. Quell and Danny's World loves quality of life updates. This is the freaking one, dude. The immediate counter argument to this, right, is if you can see someone else's hearts. Guys, should I be scared? I don't have permission to join my own Danny's World server. We're good. But the immediate pushback is Sprout, right? Where this Toon can see where all other alive Toons are, along with their current health status. A lot of people would be like, okay, but doesn't that make overprotective useless? Well, no. Because simply put, when you're playing as Sprout and you see the other Toons highlighted, naturally, you would just give Sprout more information. For example, if it's a 3-heart Toon and they're hit once, their aura would be yellow. Or if they're a main or they're on 1-hit territory, anyone that being, they would be red. There's constant workarounds to this, yeah? Guys, I haven't had a video like this in a while. I'm having so much fun. Something that I didn't even consider or think about is seeing how soon their ability is to popping. So instead of saying, I need healing, like Genji from Overwatch, you can literally see how long it's going to take for your Cosmo to heal you. Or you can find out if your teammates are dirty little liars. Hey, Shelly, use your ability on me. I can. It's on cooldown. Lies. I feel like this is such a simple concept, but it'd be super useful and fix some of the issues with public runs, especially since Danny's World is teamwork-based game. It'd make public runs at least a bit more bearable. Also, you might be wondering what would happen to Sprout's I didn't even know that they talked about it. Instead of tracking Toon's health, he could track tapes instead, which, wow. That might be better than my idea. That's better than my idea. Dude, I've actually brought that topic up a lot, but it's because I love it so much. And speaking of topics and in gameplay changes that I've talked about before, more subtle features to the quality of life as well as gameplay that I think Quell is wanting to add, and it has to do with hurt faces. Check this out. One of these concepts coming from Square Discount 716 involves the Toon's faces. We already know when you are on a floor in Danny's World, you have 3 hearts. Unless you're a main, then you have 2. Whenever you get hit inside of Danny's World, the players make a, well, hurt face. And every single Toon has their own hurt face inside of the game. However, besides for hovering over a Toon to see how much health they have, there's really no other way to know how much HP somebody has. So Square Discount theorized this idea where you could tell it based on their facial expression. This is literally such a cool and fun idea. That's honestly just such a simple ad. It's literally already integrated in the game. This is just another basic quality of life update. As you can see on the far left, Poppy looks great. She's healthy. Can't believe I just said Poppy looks great. And then you can see in the middle, she looks a little bit more distressed. I think you could even make her look more distressed even, but it's just subtleties, right? And then behind my fat head, you can see the true despair, the true feeling. And Square Discount ultimately ended up doubling down on this idea, giving it more in depth. So another small concept: if a Toon gets attacked by a Twisted, they would get a wound, minor or worse. So you can see here on the left, they have a minor injury where you can just see the slash down the body, so you can tell that they're hurt a little bit. And then on the right, you can see that it says Iger bleed, much more dirty injury. Toon goes darker, hinting more hit to them. It's just an easier way to tell that somebody's injured. And originally, he was gonna have different types of wounds, but that is actually that is a little bit probably too much. I like where you're at exactly. Moving back into gameplay changes, Forum Bros made a video called Danny's World Machine Ideas, which hoists some of the most peculiar, ridiculous machines you have ever laid your eyes on. They start off tame. They start off tame. They start off feasible. They start where you're like, oh, I could totally see this happening. For example, the Radical Machine, which honestly is almost like the Circle Machine, but just slightly different. This is good. We could, you know, this could work. We then move on to something called the Sliding Puzzle Machine, which is where we start getting a little bit more peculiar. Like maybe that could be in the game. I could see it being in the game. You know, why not implement some new crazy ideas, right? Up next, we got the Radical Machine, but slightly different, which, once again, I could totally see this being in the game. And moving on to the next one, I want to keep an open mind, because I always talk about, I could see this being added into the game. Maybe that's the wrong idea. I wonder if I should start thinking what the game could be instead of what fits now. Comment down below what you think. But this is where the Pandora's box kind of whipped open a little bit too fast. We have something called the washing machine, and it feels like you're playing Usu, where these circles will come out onto like the Rolodex, and you have to press them, and then it just gets crazy where it's a literal workout machine. It's a literal workout machine, but actually, funny enough, because the treadmill machine's in the game, I could see it being in the game. I get literally, why not? That's a funny little gimmick. Moving on from that, this is where we just get into literally things that it's just, English isn't Englishing. It's ridiculous. And then you got the freestyle machine where you're making a freaking Coke, I guess. This video just gets unhinged. If you want to check out the rest, the link is in the description. Speaking of machines, this creator into the DSO, I don't know, think they're making a Danny's World inspired roguelike where they've made some cool extraction type ideas. Where here, they're kind of doing what looks like kind of pop the lock, which honestly, that is just a really fun gimmick to add into the game. On this one, it looks like you have to watch the pattern. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, wait, you have to drop it into which one's like turning green? Oh, that's insane. Wait, on this, you have to move that green tile onto the red tile? Oh, that's actually so fun. Wait, there's a timer. Wait, there's a timer on these. What happens if you fail the timer, bro? Either way, more machine types done in the right way. That's really what players want to see. Ultimately, I think things that speed up progress, and if not, make it more fun. Like the double machines speed it up with less machines, and there be some other ones that progress gameplay. Maybe floor specific machines even, you know? Why won't Sprout have a baking contest when you get his floor? Nothing's stopping it. Why not have a fishing mini game when you get to Finn's floor? Nothing's stopping it. It's just an idea, One that I've said several times. And another small quality of life update, one that I've, well, begged for years, is Toon emotes. Moving on from that, Fizzy Soap added something to the game that I've literally been asking for the age of time, and that's emotes. Yes, dude, there's nothing I want more than watching Goob break it down and hit the freaking gritty. So let's go ahead and check out concept. So you can see right here, you would have this little button right here where you could press, where you would pull up the emo wheel and the game pass. You could buy the emote pack right here inside of the game passes, so you can buy your own little cheeky emotes. And as you can see right here, there is the theoretical emote wheel where V's face is powered down, Happy V, and Studley V. So cool. So yeah, that's, oh wait, there's an AFK one. So you have to choose that you're AFK. That's so sick. Adding a wave. Dude, literally just, if you could trigger your own idle animation. Wait, no, pause. Hopeless. Listen to yourself. That's actually stupid. Trigger your own idle animation. You can. It's called going idle. They made some more emotes. So let's go ahead and check out Astro's emotes here. So, dude, floating as Astro, dude, it's just so cool, man. His wave does not really look like a wave. Dude, Astro is just such a cool character, man. And then you can see the emo wheel here. I don't know, man. Just an idea. It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. If you guys want to check out the rest of the animations, check out Fizzy. And the last thing that I want to talk about today is floor events. Players, myself included, really want there to be more floor events added to the basic or core gameplay loop in Danny's World. Right now we have Iker Leap and Blackout. We've seen other iterations of cool floor events, Iced Over and Spring Fever. Players would like to see more of these integrated in some way, or at least different gameplay added throughout the game, so it's not the same floors every time. One idea that's pretty cool is something called flooded floors, where rooms are filled with water with some dry areas. Toons that are aquatic based, you know, like Fen. You could argue Squirm. You know, certain toons, like how certain toons light up during blackouts, right? Just certain toons. They don't get affected. Whereas V and Brightney will get something called the drenched effect, which means you'll get hurt if you're not able to find a dry spot after a certain amount of time. Aquatic-based Twisteds plus Sprout, because he's a plant, have a higher chance of spawning than others. But Twisted V and Brightney are unable to spawn here. Machines will fill up faster due to the water diluting the Iker, but if you fail a skill check, the machine will zap you, dealing of damage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how fun does that actually sound? To me, I actually wouldn't be able to believe it, frankly, honestly. That, game changing. My biggest caveat for this video, I have a lot of hope for Danny's World. I really do, man. And I'll be honest, a lot of people in my comments would be like, Hopeless, do you even play Danny's World? Not as much as I used to. If you guys want me to be, like, I'll be honest, I don't as much as I used to. It's gotten harder to, not just because of work-related things, but also, you know, oftentimes other games seem more interesting to me. I have high hopes. Comment down below your ideas. Thank you for watching. Also, I love you.